Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Nerd Herders. I'm Rich.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're going to have a discussion. Normally we would do this as like a special discussion.
Right.
But the timeline fit, it works. It's going to be part of our normal episode.
Yeah.
It's whatever. We're going to talk about season 6 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you might call this episode Talking Dead.
Talking Dead.
With Chris Hardwick.
Except Chris Hardwick is gone and they got us assholes.
Rich Hardnick.
Yeah. Rich So, start off right off the bat, there will be season 6 spoilers all through this, especially for the finale, the whole thing. So this is your chance to turn it off and go watch The Walking Dead.
You have been warned.
Yes, the warnings have been made. This will be a very spoiler-filled episode.
Yes. Do you, real quick, if people are like, oh, I didn't expect spoilers because I'm stupid, is it worth watching season 6?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, there you go. I agree.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I would say yes.
Okay, so a fairly good recommendation for both of us to go watch it if you haven't watched it or finished it. But here on out, it's going to be a spoiler-filled discussion.
All right, here we go. Spoilers. Cool. So, let's start off by saying that you were a bit behind, and in the last 48 hours?
24 hours?
24 hours, you watched how many episodes?
6.
6. So most of this second half of the season.
Yeah, it was the only thing I had seen before that was the mid-season premiere.
Okay.
Or return, whatever it is, and then the 6 episodes after that I watched last night.
Wow. Alright, so...
I'm a little tired.
You're a little tired. You're kind of like a Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the season and then move into the finale. So we kind of did a recap of the first half of the season leading into that.
I don't remember if we did it before. We did it after the mid-season premiere, I think.
Yeah, okay. We had seen the one episode.
Yeah, and then we talked about kind of all of the first part of the season.
Yeah, so we've already done that. You can go back and overall the first half of the season I thought was really pretty good for the most part. It had some good standout episodes and stuff like that. And now, so this back half has all sort of been leading to the introduction of Negan. So there was all the stuff going on with them kind of taking out part of his crew and Maggie and Carol getting taken and then having to get them out. That was a big chunk of what this second half of the season was, all leading up to that finale. So what are do you have specific thoughts on leading up to that? Because I'm interested. I watched it week by week, so I've seen it in one fell thing. The one thing that I was confused about, even in the finale, is it wasn't totally clear to me where some of the character motivations of Carol were coming from. Yeah,
that's one of my big issues with these last couple episodes. Is it feels like, up until the last 3 episodes or 4 episodes, she's very in that hardcore mode. We gotta do this. We gotta do this. She's in it, and I don't think it's all that believable that all of a sudden she's. I don't buy it that she's all of a sudden really.
They get taken, and then they get rescued, right? And who is it? Rick or Glenn or whoever or Daryl? Somebody asked them are you okay?
Yeah.
And Maggie's not really. And is Carol the one who says that?
Yeah, Maggie comes out and she's like, I can't do this anymore. And then then Daryl asks Carol oh, are you okay? And she's like, no, I'm
not. And it was just kind of we've seen 6 seasons of the show. That was not the worst thing that you've been through.
Yeah, I mean we've watched
what the hell?
We've watched her go from the timid, abused housewife to this badass kind of cold-hearted.
Yeah, killed lots of people. Seen terrible things happen.
And in the last 3 episodes, is suddenly
she found religion and couldn't kill anyone. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I don't totally buy it.
No, that would be my one complaint.
So yeah, I don't think you need this whole subplot of her and Morgan and all this stuff.
See, Morgan's philosophies, I feel like are very justified.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I could comes from, that extra long episode about him and stuff. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know where this Carol stuff is coming
and,
from.
And her and Morgan had that had out a little bit in the whole attack with the wolves and the walkers and stuff. And so I could see it coming a little bit from that, but to not be able to just shut it off when you need to, and all of a sudden be like frightened by it is a little weird.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. Kind of overall thoughts. I have a bigger problem with Walking Dead as a whole, which I'll get to in a minute. But I like Negan.
Yes.
I'm glad he's there because I really don't care for some of his crew. Like, they just feel like generic kind of.
They feel like people we've seen over the course of this show.
Yeah.
And what was so cool, I was talking to a coworker the other day who was like, I did not like his performance at all. Like, I wanted him to be this like authoritative, and I was like, we've had that 100 times in the show. Did you just want the governor again?
Yeah.
Like, I loved that he was eccentric, and I loved that he was different. And I've read a good deal of the comic, but I never got to.
Oh, really?
No,
okay.
I didn't get to that. I know some of what happens with him. I mean, are you aware of any of that?
No, I know of him. Like, I haven't read any of the comics. I was talking to a buddy of mine about this the other day, and I know of him and kind of the way he put it. I didn't watch the stuff yet, and Negan makes the governor look like Mr. Rogers. Is kind of how he put it.
Yeah,
and he's like this
definitely their biggest threat.
Frightening.
I know that.
Foul mouth, like.
This episode ends on a cliffhanger, right? Yeah. I know who he kills in the comics.
Oh, really?
I don't think that the same thing happens, right? From what I understand.
Oh, okay.
And I've known for a long time who he kills in the comics, and I don't think, especially with them leaving it as a cliffhanger, I don't think it's going to be the same person.
Like, that wouldn't make sense to do it.
No.
Why leave it as a cliffhanger if you're going to just copy the comics for that?
Yeah, so on the basis of I don't know if you want that to know that, I can just say I don't. My personal opinion, if you know who I'm talking about, I don't think that's who it's.
If you want to tell me after the
the
episode, you can, just in case there's people who don't really want to know that part.
But for those who do know what I'm talking about, I don't think it'll be the same person. With that said, there's been a lot of fan uproar that I've seen, articles written, people upset about it ending on that cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of that ties into what my bigger problem with Walking Dead is.
Okay. See, I'll give my opinion,
okay,
and then you can go into that, and then we'll counter argue. I do not have an issue with it ending on a cliffhanger of who he killed. Really at all. That's what this show does.
Sure.
I think that it is also what season finales of a show does. It will keep the conversation going. Oh, who did he kill? Who did he kill? Where I will have an issue is with what they've done in the past, like when was Glenn dead or not, and then they waited 3 episodes to let us know. They can have this off season to let us think about it and wonder and who could it have been. I will be very, very annoyed if the first episode of the next season is Negan's backstory, and then the next one follows what Carol and Morgan are doing, and then the third episode goes back to that moment. That will be annoying.
Yeah.
I want it answered at the start of next season. But you could see them doing the other thing.
Yeah, I could.
That'll be bad. The people who are upset about it, not too worried about it. Like, that was fine. I thought it was actually kind of a cool way for it to end. But what about you?
Like, if this had been the only time they ended on a cliffhanger, I would be fine with it. Like, I'm at this point now, and I've felt this way probably since, like, the Governor episodes. So, what, season 3 or so?
Yeah, season 3 and 4.
They've had this, in my opinion, they've had this weird, like, pacing thing with Walking Dead where for a while the mid-season finales felt like season finales, and then the finales felt like mid-season finales. Like, each season doesn't have a full arc of an end where you're left. Like, I remember, like, at the end of, I think, season 2, the prison's in the distance and they kind of ended on, it's a little bit of a cliffhanger because it's like, oh, there's this other thing looming here, but you have a sense of resolution. And you don't get that. Like, this feels to me like if they had ended the season on the rescue or something with, so they go into one episode and they kill everybody and then they have a rescue and do all that, like, that would have been a satisfying finale, and then you open with an episode like this where you're just kind of, okay, well, you have this episode of downtime, and now you open with. Like, it feels like the arcs are off of, like, the ups and downs are off with where the seasons begin and end. For me.
I agree. I think in some ways that could be more of maybe they're trying to capture the feeling of the comic, where there's not these. First of all, there's not these long gaps where there's no comic, but also like the point of the comic when Robert Kirkman, if you read the introduction to the first trade, which is right there on the table, he said that basically when he started this, he never wanted it to end. Like he doesn't want it to end because the zombie apocalypse wouldn't end, and so maybe there shouldn't be nice, tidy endings to seasons because that's not really how life works.
No, I know.
That's not how life in the show would work. I mean, it's just I agree with your point, but it's just like a counter argument.
No, I agree. Like, I get that. I understand that. I don't necessarily need to be a nice, tidy end. Like, slaughter him if you want. I don't care. But, like, I feel like there needs to be, like, just a sense of, not even, like, everybody's safe, but, like, a sense of resolution. Like, okay, this is the end of the season now. Maybe they're off on whatever else. Like, you know, if you want to end the season on, okay, we think that all of Negan's men are dead because they came in and they took the compound out and they did all that, and then you kick off season 7 with, oh shit, no, it's not.
Yeah, or you do that escape, rescue, and then you end with showing Negan being like, they can't take out Mike, now they have to suffer. They could have done it like that, for sure. Absolutely.
I don't know. That's just kind of one of my problems with...
But then I feel like maybe they kind of did that with the governor, though, at some point already. And, like, I mean, I can't remember. Those middle seasons, the seasons like 3 and 4.
I remember this, because
whatever.
That was where I started to notice it with the governor, because I think that season ends with where they finally kill the governor. The middle of that season is when they finally kill the governor. And then you start up on the next upswing, and I was like, that's a weird place to do it kind of in the middle of the season.
Right.
I mean, because ultimately, it's not comic. We do have 13 episodes, or I don't know how many episodes Walking Dead does every season now.
18.
I don't know. But we don't, it's not like a comic. We don't have those.
Right.
You know, every week we're going to get something. Like, if this was a weekly show, like a comic book, okay. But it's not. It's...
Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. The way that it did end, it doesn't bother me. I like the idea of keeping a conversation going. For me.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just because I'm not as interested in it, where it's like, the conversation, okay.
Well, I mean,
how much
in a month I'm not going to be talking to anyone about this, but there has been some dialogue between me and other people who I know watching about, well, alright, who do you think he did kill? And then I know, like, you know, in the week leading up to when it comes back, that conversation would be like, well, can start up again.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, I've accepted that there are certain things that the show does, but I also was excited overall with the season as a whole because I feel like there was things that I felt like the show always did that they didn't do. There was a new structure to that first half that I found refreshing for the most part, and I feel like there was still something about the show for me where the previous season, I didn't care when I got to an episode. I didn't care if there was a backup, if I backlogged some of them. This show, this season, I was always no later than Tuesday did I make sure I watched it. And it had been a very long time since I felt that way about the show. So they got me back in a way.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite show on television by far, but I enjoy it way more right now than I have in a long time.
Yeah, I do agree with that. This is probably the best season we've had in maybe since season 1.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the most consistent. There was never like a low drag for me. You know, they didn't do the few episodes where you're just like, come on.
Even though the one-offs and stuff they kept interesting. And
yeah, I thought so for sure. So the big question. I should also say I really like Negan. You said it. I'm going to confirm. But the big question is, who did he hit with? Lucille.
I don't know.
Any guesses?
No, I have nothing. You have nothing to go on. There's no way to guess.
The whole thing is, right, there was real main characters there.
Yeah.
There was some medium characters. I'd consider people like Abraham and Eugene kind of mid-level.
Yeah.
They're not like the people we've always been with. And then there were some real expendables.
Yeah.
That were there. So they had a nice assortment of, it could be, for me personally, I think it's going to be one of those mid-level people where it's like, oh, that'll be a shame because we've gotten to know these people for at least a couple seasons, but it's not one of the main ones.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really a letdown if they were to kill, you know, I don't even know the guy's name, but that one
the
guy
from
who let go.
Alexandria.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I could see them doing something like that because we're going to keep you talking, but we know that you love our main characters, so we don't really want to kill any of them off yet.
Yeah. But I feel like there's no way it's going to be one of those main people.
No.
I just don't. My best. If I had to put money down right now, I'd say Abraham. That's
really.
It. I think they gave him like a little bit of an arc this second half of the season. Enough of an arc where it was where do you take him from here?
But see, then at that point, I wish they would have just shown it. Like they could have ended it, showing it hit actually hitting somebody, and then that's how you end it. Like close out that's part of what I was getting before. Like close out the arc. Like if that's going to be that was his ending, then make that his ending.
Yeah.
Don't drag it out for 6 months or whatever till we. But I mean, I can see them doing it because they have that. There's that moment between him and Eugene. Like I could see it being either one of them, because Eugene has his goodbye kind of moment too.
I just don't know who cares if it's Eugene, and I feel like it's. I mean, if it is him, they just made it too obvious with him giving the recipe for bullets. And, like having that whole moment, like it would just be like kind of almost lame if he was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be anything. We'll find out. We'll find out in October.
Yeah.
When the show comes back, or I think it usually is October with the October Halloween stuff.
Yeah, something around there.
So overall, like we said,
strong season.
Probably the best. I think it might actually, in my opinion, be the best season.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might be better than season 1 as a whole. I like season 1 a lot. But I think there could actually be more about it character-wise that I enjoyed.
Okay, that's fair.
But you would probably go with season 1 still?
Yeah, I think so.
Point. It's one or the other, for sure. Any other thoughts on the season?
No. I do. I like they quickly went from, them being these badass, they're coming in, they're slaughtering, and then you really see them just torn down.
Yeah.
In that scene where they're on their knees, and
Rick
has just lost his shit and is done.
Who was it? Morgan sees those other guys with the armor.
Yeah.
Show up. I don't know who they are. I'm assuming whoever they are is who they seem like they're probably actually good people, and they're going to be whoever's going to help them try and take out the governor, Negan.
I could see that. But I mean, they had the same weapons as the Hilltop people, but the armor didn't seem familiar to. They could be one of the other places that they trade, because they're like, oh, your whole world's going to get bigger, and we trade with these settlements. So they could be another settlement that gets traded with.
Yeah, and somehow they're going to unite those settlements to go against them, and that all sounds pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. This show is not ending anytime soon. I think at some point in the season, they said that.
Yeah.
There is no plan to end it. At what point are you going to be tired of it? Or you'll stop watching?
I don't know.
Do you think there is it's just hard to tell? Because I feel like I've already passed that. There was that really rough stretch, right? And got through that, and this season was strong. I don't see it happening.
I feel like at this point it's sort of like I suffered through so much of the slog of it that I'm like, well, I'm here now.
Yeah.
If they hit another one of those slogs, that might be it.
Maybe.
But I mean, so you're in season 6. How many shows really do that well once they've passed season 9 or season 10?
Almost none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a point where people are
And you have to assume there's a point where some of these people, like Andrew Lincoln, just are not going to want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
They've made enough money off of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and now they got Fear the Walking Dead going, so you could easily end this and then I haven't watched the first season yet of Fear the Walking Dead, but then you have Fear the Walking Dead to take that.
Do you have any plans of doing that?
It's still on my DVR. I'd like to catch up.
When people are, debuts this weekend.
Okay.
That we're recording this.
So is the whole idea of it to be kind of the interim between?
Yeah, it's just like a stopgap thing. I'm
Okay.
assuming. I think what they're doing is there's going to be like 6 episodes, and then they're breaking for a while to do that show with Tom Hiddleston,
Mm.
and then I think it's going to come back for the back half that will lead right into the premiere of this.
Okay.
Again, never-ending cycle.
It's Walking Dead year round.
Walking Dead. But it was good. So I feel kind of exhausted by it, but
Yeah.
it was really good. Maybe my favorite season. So I don't know. It's a weird relationship to have with the show for sure. But that's our Walking Dead thoughts,
Yeah.
I think. So you can tweet at us your Walking Dead thoughts.
Yeah. What'd you guys
Are
think?
you still in? Are you out? Why are you out? Why are you in?
Mm-hmm. Let us know.
Who do you think died? Go ahead, let us know that.
Let us
too.
know in the comments below, or tweet at us. You can tweet me at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel's on Twitter at OABeer_official, and you can email us at overbeerofficial@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/overbeer. We're on Instagram now too, over_a_beer. We tweet all kinds of behind-the-scenes photos, updates, things we're drinking. We do a couple fun segments every week. Movies Nobody's Watching Monday, where we pick a really bad movie that nobody in the world's watching. And Flashback Fridays, that's already a thing. Forgot Movie Fridays, where we pick what we consider to be a really good movie that didn't really get its due when it came out. So again, over_a_beer. Obviously, we're also on YouTube, but I don't have a YouTube URL for you guys yet. We do need 100 subscribers, so if you are enjoying these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I guess that'll wrap things up for today, though, so until next time, drink up!